You had also applied to the Inlaks Scholarship, is that right? And a lot of people apply to the Inlaks Scholarship and very few do get it. So what was your approach? What helped you in that process?
I think so at that time when I'd applied, I remember when I started applying, I realized that I had just missed the Commonwealth scholarship deadline when I first decided. So I was already feeling quite upset that that deadline had passed. And in fact, I was really wondering that should I just defer the whole thing for a year and, start applications next year. But there was something in me which was just telling me, just apply and let's just see. So then I think, just speaking to others who had gone abroad to do their masters, like seniors from college or, other colleagues, just finding out what kind of scholarships are available for this kind of a program in these kind of things. So Inlaks is one that came up. In addition to, I think, Aga Khan Fellowship, which I also got shortlisted for, the Felix Scholarship, which also I got shortlisted for. So it's really through word of mouth and just general Google search that I just found out what. So I made a list of scholarships. I looked at what the relevant criteria were to see whether I matched it or not. And then, deadlines and things like that. So I just had a chart in which I kept track of these things. And the Inlaks process is that you submit the first round, which is the application in which your CV and, your SOP, things, why you want to do what you want to do. And I think it really helped for me that I was just really naive and honest at that point about, I want to change the world. And I think that really came, and I genuinely thought that at the time. And I think that came through in my application. So the next thing that happens in the Inlaks process, I can't remember the timelines anymore, but that they let you know if only the shortlisted people the long-listed people rather, will get notified.
Okay.
And then once that's done, they call you all to an interview in Bombay. And I think there's no funding for that portion. You land up in Bombay on your own. You go through an interview process, an interview panel, which is about 3 people from your field. So if you've applied to study development studies, experts in those fields will be there. Or if you apply to study law or engineering, you'll have experts from those fields interviewing you. So, so I interviewed with the panel, and then is the next round is the shortlisting round. So then you get told that if you've then moved into the next round, which is the shortlist, which is I think about 30, 40 people. And that's when you go to the second round of interview, which is it's a big panel, which is about 12, a jury of about 12, who sort of sit all around you, like in a semicircle. And you might see some famous people there when you walk in. And so you then sit there and, and explain to them. It's not one of those interviews where they're trying to grill you to figure out what you don't know and try to put you on a spot.
Right.
I found that it was a process where actually they wanted to know what you do know and what you actually want to do and were interested. And, it wasn't trying to catch you on the back foot kind of thing. They were genuinely curious and probing and asking questions. And I think it's about really knowing your CV inside out, your past experience inside out. So if you've said you've done such and such a thing, you better know it really, really well. They can catch you if you're faking or if you've extra glossed. Better to be completely honest. And I think one thing that really helped is, I think when they asked me this question about what exactly are you going to do when you come back, yes, you have this plan of working with indigenous communities, this, that, and how are you going to exactly do it? And I remember at one point, after asking a couple of times and the questions got more and more detailed, and I said, I don't know exactly. And that's why I'm going to learn. I don't know exactly what needs to be done.
Yeah.
And I think they appreciated that, that candor. And so I think it was, and so then after this big interview is when then you get the final, I think in my year, I think it was 8 people who were finally selected.
Okay.
So that's the process. But Inlaks is a great scholarship. It is tough for sure. But once you get through, they really take care of everything in terms of your flight, your accommodation, your tuition, but also even the fact that they even have they want you to go there and study, but they also want you to experience the place. So there is also a small travel grant for you to travel in Europe, for instance. They
Oh, wow.
invite you to France as part of the, you meet all the other fellows that year.
Got it.
So it's a scholarship that's quite well-rounded in that sense.
Mhm.